Hello Mixed Crafters! I hope that you're all well and I hope that you're all not going too stir crazy in lockdown, or if you're key workers I hope that that's going okay for you as well. But less of that, we all know what's going on. So crafting! Yeah, let's do some crafting. We are on to our third video of Mixed Crafts and this brings us to week 8 of Mixed Crafts, our 8th and final, and this is papercraft. So as you've probably seen from your kits, we're doing something a little bit different from what was in the original workbooks that I handed out in whenever we started, February. So today we're going to do some metal engraving or metal embossing, and we're going to do a version of paper cutting that's really easy for you to do at home. And if you, have a look at what's coming up, and at the end I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the paper craft that we would have done in the class. So that's, what, I'm such a YouTube star. I'm doing a thing where you've got to wait till the end of the video to get the last piece of information. That is what's happening. You've got, watch till the end, there's more stuff coming up. Okay, for now, get out your kits. The next shot should be unpacking the kits. Here we go. So things that you will have in your kit include 2 pieces of metal, of engraving metal. You will have a small cardboard square of, well actually it's mount board, it's slightly thicker than cardboard. Pop that here. You will have a printed paper flower and you will have 2 cards and envelopes. Things that it would be useful to have as well as these include a small pair of scissors, a biro pen and a little bit of glue. So with these items we're going to be able to make a cutout paper flower, which we would usually do a bit of paper cutting for this using a craft knife, but unfortunately I can't send everyone craft knives, but more about that later. And we're going to do some metal embossing, and the metal embossing is something a little bit extra because we can't do paper marbling. Paper marbling involves oil-based inks. Very, very messy. We're quite messy in the classroom, to be honest, but trying to send you all little pots of oil-based ink. No, not a goer. Excuse me. So let's begin. We're going to start with our metal embossing. So we will take away the card, the flower. We will start with our square of mount board and our pieces of metal. I'll just show you quickly some examples that I have of this. Now you guys will have different colours. Everyone should have 2 of these metals, but you might have different colours. So we have got, this is going to be tricky to show you in the right light. So here are some of the examples that I have done. I'm all about bumblebees at the moment. Here is a nice coppery one. I do like how the light reflects them, although I do feel vaguely QVC doing that. And that is a Happy Mother's Day one. This was actually the hardest one to do because writing backwards completely messes with my mind. So we'll leave those there for a moment. So as I say, it starts off with your piece of mount board and one of your 2 foils. Let's begin. I'm going to start with the gold piece. So the nice thing about this is the simplicity of the equipment you need. All you need is a ballpoint pen. And what we're going to be doing is a type of metal engraving, and we're basically pressing our shape using the metal nib of the ballpoint pen into the metal. The metal is soft enough to take the shape just using the ballpoint pen. Now I like to do this freehand, and I like to just sort of go with it, see what happens. I do quite a lot of repeat patterns. I did a mandala for my mum's Mother's Day card. In fact, if I can figure out the technology of it, I will put a little picture of that on the screen now. If nothing happened, I didn't figure out how to do it. I digress. So I'm just continuing to make these shapes into the metal. I'm not pressing down ever so hard, but the softness of the metal takes the indentation really well, so that you get that nice engraved effect. Now I'm working at this quite quickly, as always, but you guys can take your time. If you wanted to, you could get a piece of paper and sketch out what you were going to do first. If you wanted to go whole hog, you could get a little piece of greaseproof paper or tracing paper, and work out your pattern, put it over the top, and actually work over the tracing paper to do your pattern. As I say, I like to just go for it. So I have, well, we'll say I've finished my design. I always show my engravings this side up, so I show them the opposite side that I'm doing. So you get that really nice raised edge everywhere you've put a pen line, and I personally think that that's really, really effective. If you have got a pen that has nicely run out of ink, you can also do some patterns on this side as well. So you could add in some details on this side. And actually, if you had a pen that had run out of ink, you can do your writing on this side. Then you're not having to write backwards. If your pen does have ink in it, you'll find that you get, in fact, have I got one that's got it? Yeah, so for this one, if I hold up, this is the nice side of this one, but if I turn it over, can you see how some of my biro marks have been left? So for this one, I would definitely want to use it this side up. Going onto my silver piece. So I've mentioned writing backwards. We'll go back to the piece that's got some writing on it. So this one, the Happy Mother's Day, has got the writing on. I did all of this work on the other side. You can possibly see some of my pen lines. So I had to write it all backwards. As I say, writing backwards, it really messes with my mind, to be honest. It's not something I can visualize very easily. So if you want, you can write this on your computer and then just get it to flip it so you've got a mirror image to look at. What I tend to do, so let's put my name, and as I said, this pen has run out. We're back. So I would figure out the word that I want to use. So in this case, I'm going to just go for the 3 letters of my own name. So I'm going to put cat in the centre. I would always count the letters, and the letter that is in the centre I will do first. So let's start with an A. So this silver metal is a little bit thicker. It's taking quite a lot more pressure. I'm then going to go on to the T. So instead of putting it here, I want to put it on the other side, and I'm drawing it in a mirror image to the one that I'm looking at. And then lastly, the K. And there, phew, it does say my name. So that's a little example of how to do writing. But as established, if your pen is nicely out of ink like mine is, you could just do it from the front side. Once you have finished with your, I'll just clear the decks a little bit there. Once you have finished and you're happy with your metal engraving, I really like these on greetings cards. So let's pick one that I spent a little bit more time on. I really like these on greetings cards. So I like to have these as a bit of a focal point. Then underneath you can write a message, you can leave it black, you can sign it if you're feeling fancy. You can also get those stickers from craft shops that say happy birthday, all of those other nice messages. So you peel them out and the sticker does the writing for you. So I will flip this onto the side with my pen marks on. Had to get one more little plug for Wilko's in before these sessions ended. Pop a bit of glue onto here. Oh, this glue is so stringy. Get out of here, strings. So nicely glued. And there we go. Now, I would probably weight this down a little bit just while it's drying. So I would pop just a little book or something on top to weight it down. But then, a rather lovely greetings card. Now moving on to the flower in your packs. So for this you will need your little pair of scissors. Now, as I'll say at the end, this is a little bit of an alternative to the paper cutting that we usually do. So with this flower, instead of using a craft knife, I recommend that you just use a little pair of scissors. Before you start cutting this out, you could colour it in, you could use pencil crayon, watercolour pencil, watercolours, acrylic paint, anything that you've got at home. Feel free to colour that in, make it really nice and bright. And then, for this particular piece, it is as simple as snip it out. So use the smallest pair of scissors that you have. If you have got a little pair of, these are nail scissors that I use for craft, so the blade is slightly curved, and that's really handy. So you can use those, just those little edges to nip in. And yeah, snip this out. So this piece, you could use this piece as your greetings card, especially if it's coloured in, or you could use this in conjunction with your engravings. So you could cut this out, have this on the front of one of your cards, and then underneath you could have your message. You can snip this into 3 if you wanted to make little messages. So here is an attempt for my Happy Mother's Day card. These are the 2 that I didn't use because I don't know if you can see this, but you know how I said the upside down writing was hard? That is Happy Mother's Day, and that is HQQAY Mother's Day. It took me a couple of goes to get it, but this the metal that I've sent you, it does cut really, really easily. So just with a little pair of scissors, you can slice that up. So you could have your flower on the card with its little tag underneath it. I mean, the materials are yours to do with as you please. So have a bit of fun, enjoy. So I hope everyone enjoyed their paper craft this week. I hope you're all happy with your little bits of metal engraving and with your paper cutting. If you want to do some more of the metal engraving, I only put 2 little pieces in everyone's kits partly because I don't tend to do metal engraving in this course, so it was a bit of an unknown quantity. If you really enjoyed it and you want to have another go, please do drop me an email. I'm really happy to put another couple of little squares in the post for you. So drop me an email with your address and I will pop those in the post. So the bit that I wanted to talk to you about at the end was paper cutting. Now, as I think I sort of briefly mentioned, paper cutting we do in class using a craft knife, using self-healing cutting mats. There's quite a lot of specific equipment that I bring in for you to use for paper cutting, as well as all the templates. Now, I couldn't do that without scattering all of my equipment out in York and not being able to give you a proper safety briefing with it. But what I have done is I've filmed a video on how to do paper cutting, and I've put some resources online. So if you have a look at the paper cutting video, it shows you what tools you would need to buy online, where you can download resources, and it gives you a little tutorial about how to safely use your craft knife, etc. So if you still would really like to have a go with paper cutting, and it's actually kind of perfect for lockdown because it's one of the more time consuming ones, so we got time. If you do fancy having a go at that, yeah, check out the video, which should be downloaded, so it should be clickable down there in this, I assume, YouTube. Yes, it will be uploaded later on today, and as always, if you've got any questions, drop me an email. I'm absolutely loving seeing everyone's photos, so please do keep sending those in. I might do a little video montage of all the photos you've sent because they are really gorgeous. And this would be our final week of Mixed Crafts, so I'm really sorry that we're not able to do it all in person properly. Needs must, however. I hope, as I said, I hope everyone's staying safe. And we're all crafters living in a really small city. I'm sure our paths will cross again after all this is blown over. In the meantime, stay safe, keep crafting. Yeah, you've all been lovely. See you again soon. Bye.